Hello everyone, let's dive into the steps to perform a clean installation of Windows 11 version 25H2. Microsoft is still in the early stages of this feature update, so this tutorial is not meant to be for the final release of the operating system. It is only to test the latest preview. For this process, we're going to be using a custom ISO file for Windows 11 version 25H2. Before proceeding, make sure that your device is configured to boot from USB. This may require changing the UEFI firmware settings, and since these settings are different per device and per manufacturer, it is best to confirm with your computer manufacturer for more details on how to do this. These instructions will erase everything on the computer, so make sure to create a full backup before proceeding. Also, at this time, the operating system isn't considered final, so you should install this on your primary computer. Okay, first, let's look at the steps to create a USB bootable media for version 25H2. And at the time of this recording, the only way that we can get version 25H2 is to use the UUP-dump script. And to do that, you need to go to this website. And then we know that the latest version of the operating system is available through the dev channel. So we need to go to that page. And from here, we need to download the latest preview for the operating system. So in here, we can see that we have two versions. One for the ARM64, that is if you have a Copilot+ PC or a device that has an ARM processor. And then for Intel and AMD, you want to use the x64 architecture. And at this time of this recording, the latest preview for version 25H2 is 26200.5670, but depending on when you're watching this video, the preview build number will be different. So to start, just click on the latest version. Then from here, you can choose the language of the installation and then click next. Then select the editions of Windows 11 you want to have on that ISO. So in my case, I'm just going to use the Pro version. So I'm going to check that and then click next. Now use all the default settings and make sure that this option, the include updates option, is checked. And this is because this is what's going to allow the script to convert that ISO file into version 25H2. And then just click the download button. Save the file to your computer. And then we're going to open the location where we save that file. Now we need to extract the files from the zip folder. So just select the file that you downloaded and click the extract all button. Then in here, what you want to do, just to make sure that the extracted folder doesn't have any spaces or any special characters. And this is because sometimes when running the script, you might run into issues. So I find it best to have only one word. You can choose anything you want. Actually, I'm just going to change this to 25H2 and then click the extract button. We can close this in the browser. And right here, we have a bunch of files. And let me just change the view. And I'm going to show file extensions. From here, you want to right click on the UUP, download windows.cmd script. And then we just want to run it as an administrator. Yes, you're going to get this prompt, but then click on more info and then click the run anyway button. Now we're going to run the script once. So just type R and press enter. And now the script is going to download the files for installation of Windows 11 version 25H2 from the Microsoft servers, and it's going to create a custom ISO file. Now, it is important to know that this process is going to take some time. It can actually take up to an hour, and that's because all the processes that the script has to do to actually integrate all the files to create the ISO for this specific version. So just be patient. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention is that using the script to create the ISO file is going to take a lot of space to process the ISO. Make sure that you have at least 70 to 100 gigabytes of storage to not run into any issues. So far it's been 50 minutes and the script is still going on. Okay, so it's been close to an hour. The script is still going. However, it's almost at the end to complete the process. As you can see, right now it's creating the ISO file for build 26200.5670, which is the first preview for Windows 11 version 25H2. Okay, so the script just finished successfully, and just to close the console, just press 0 and that's it. So now if we look into the folder, we can see that we have ISO file for Windows 11. Now from here, you can do multiple things. You can mount this to the computer and perform an in-place upgrade. You can also mount this ISO to a virtual machine to continue installation of the operating system. And we can also create a USB bootable media that you can use to install the operating system on a spare computer to test the upcoming features for Windows 11. And one tool that we can use is the Rufus tool. And to do that, we're just going to open the web browser, and then we're going to go to the Rufus website. We're going to download the latest version. Now, from the save location, we just need to double click to run it. Click yes. Now, at this time, make sure to connect a USB flash drive with at least 16 gigabytes of storage. And that is because if we actually look at the ISO file, we can see that the size is about 9 gigabytes. Now, click on select, and then we're going to select the ISO file that we just created. And technically right here, you can use all the default settings. One thing that you can do is just to change the label to Windows 11 25H2, click the start button. And in here, you're going to have some default options. Now, if you are about to install the operating system on a computer that is compatible with Windows 11, you can clear all these options. Now, if you have a computer with unsupported hardware and you want to install version 25H2, make sure to at least check this option to bypass the hardware requirements. And then just click OK and make sure to click OK, and this will confirm that everything on that USB flash drive is going to be deleted. So if you have anything important, make sure to back it up before proceeding, and then click OK. Now, once a USB flash drive is created, just click the close button, and then we just need to connect that bootable USB to the device that you want to install the new version of Windows 11. So once you have the ISO and created the USB bootable media, you need to connect that USB to the computer that you want to install the operating system. And like I said, you have to make sure that the BIOS is set to boot from USB. In my case, I started the computer on the boot menu and I mounted the ISO into a virtual machine. So now here I have to use the CD-ROM option, and that's what we're going to use to continue with installation. Now, the installation of Windows 11 version 25H2 is virtually the same as version 24H2. So on the first page, we need to select the language settings. The default usually are the correct ones. Then click Next. Then select the keyboard input and then click Next. Then we're going to choose to install Windows 11, and then you need to agree that everything on that computer will be erased, and then click Next. Then in here, if this is a new computer, you can type the product key, but you can do that later. So here I'm just going to choose the I don't have a product key option. Now select the edition of Windows 11 that your product key activates, in this case Windows 11 Pro, and then click Next. Accept the license term, and then select the drive where you want to install the operating system. So now here, like if you have a different operating system already installed on the computer, you might need to select all the partitions for that particular drive, and you want to use the delete partition option. Then after deleting all the partitions, you're going to end up with something like this, and then just select the unallocated space and click Next. And now just click the Install button. And now we have to complete the out-of-box experience. So I'm just going to go through this quickly so we can get to the desktop. Now in here you can choose a computer name if you want, but you can always skip it and do it later. This option is only available for Windows 11 Pro. Set up for personal use and click Next. Now click Continue. And here we're going to create a Windows 11 account. So I'm going to enter my email, click Next. I'm going to authenticate with my Authenticator app. Now we need to create a PIN so we don't have to use the password every time that we need to sign in. Now choose your privacy settings and click Accept. Now here you can restore your computer from backup. However, since we're doing a clean installation, we're just going to skip this feature. For that, click on More Options and click on Set up as a new PC. Click the same option again. Now here you can tell the operating system how you're going to use Windows 11, but we can always skip this. Then click on Skip. We can also do this later, so we're going to click Skip. And here we're going to click No Now. And in here, just click Next. Click on Skip for Now option. And that's it. that concludes the installation process for Windows 11 version 25H2. We can check that we have the latest version of the operating system by using the Windows key plus R keyboard shortcut, and then we just type the command winver and click OK. And then if we look at the version, we can see it is 25H2, and this is a current build that I have installed on the computer. And your installation, the build might be different depending on when you're watching this video and when you're performing the installation. And that's it. At this time, remember to check for updates, reinstall your applications, restore any files from backup, and if you want, you can also use the device manager to make sure that all the drivers are correctly installed on your computer. Usually, if anything is not installed or not working correctly, you will see an exclamation mark in yellow or a red mark. And that's it. That is how you perform a clean installation of Windows 11 version 25H2 in the early days of the development. Let me know in the comments if you plan to do a clean installation to test out the upcoming features. Like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and I just hope this video was informative for you, and I would like to thank you for viewing.